Hi everyone, it's Abhinav from PhoneBunch and welcome to our unboxing and second look at the LeEco L11s. Now LeEco or LeTV has really nailed it with the pricing on the LE1s. It is a superbly well built device at Rs 10,999. But first, let's have a look at the box contents. At the very top, you have the L11s. I'll keep that aside for the time being. This is the gold variant that we have got for you. And you have some documentation in there as well. It's all in Chinese. The retail variant in India will be all in English. You have a SIM removable tool, a fast charger within the box rated with a 2 amp output. And this phone comes with a USB Type-C port. So you get a USB Type-C to normal USB port, with something even the folks at LG didn't have the brains to do. Before we get to the build, I'll just give you a rundown of the specs. So you have a 5.5-inch 1080p display up front with Corning Gorilla Glass protection, MediaTek Helio X10 octa-core processor clocked at 2.2 GHz, and all metal build here. This phone has superb build quality. The buttons have great tactile response. You have chamfered edges at the top and bottom, which really make the phone good to hold. Now at about 170 grams with a 3000 mAh battery, just 7.5 mm in thickness, this phone does feel a bit weighty in your hands. Not hefty, but yes, very solid. Now at the top you have the audio jack, antenna bands and an infrared blaster. If you move to the right, you have the two SIM card slots, one nano, one micro, and sadly there's no expandable storage here. You can see the two slots here. Now you do get 32 gigs of onboard storage, so that should be plenty, and at this price point I really won't ask for more. Now coming to the bottom, you have a single speaker, the USB Type-C port and the primary microphone of the device. Now moving to the back, you have a 13 megapixel camera with ISO cell sensor, LED flash, noise cancellation mic and that fingerprint sensor, which really works well. It has a mirror finish which is again scratch resistant. Now most of the front part is adorned by that 5.5-inch 1080p IPS display with very narrow bezels. At the top you have a 5 megapixel camera, proximity and light sensors along with a notification LED. If we come to the bottom of the display, you have capacitive buttons which do light up. In daytime they do seem a bit faint, but at night they are very visible. Coming to this display, it has very wide viewing angles. It's a 5.5-inch 1080p IPS panel and it sits flush with the top panel of the device. You have Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection over here as well, and you can tweak the color balance of the display if you find it a bit too oversaturated. It's not the brightest display that I've seen in this price bracket, but still quite visible outdoors, which you can see here. Now let's talk about that rear camera. It's an ISO cell sensor, you have phase detection autofocus, and it's really fast to capture images. I'll have some samples for you later on as well. Now the camera interface is pretty simple. There are not many modes, but yes, there are some filters available. It's not cluttered, which is a very good thing. Now you can take more control over the image with white balance control, and yes, you have 4K recording at 30 FPS available here too. Now the front facing camera is pretty decent as well. I'll be taking an in-depth look at the camera later on. Now here you can see that the camera actually captures images very well. The color reproduction is quite accurate, sometimes a bit overpronounced. But the best thing is it focuses in very quick and has great depth of field, which you can see from these shots. Which brings us to software. Now this phone is running EUI, which is based on Android Lollipop. It is a bit of a different take on Android, but yes, we have seen skins like these previously. You do have widget support baked in as well, there are some themes available too, so there is some amount of customization. But the most different part here is the control center, which houses your apps list, all your toggles, you have your brightness slider, music controls, everything thrown in there along with some shortcuts. So yes, there is a bit of a steep learning curve here and some very iOS-like elements. Even in the settings you can see that it mimics Apple's iOS in some aspects. But yes, it is running Android 5.0.2 and might be updated in the recent future. Coming to storage, this is a 32 gig variant. Storage is non-expandable and you'll get about 25 odd gigs when you get the device. And there are 3 gigs of RAM on the device, out of which generally more than 1 gig is free, which is pretty decent for memory management. Now you do have an IR blaster over here, and an app comes pre-installed to control your television, your radio, and several other home appliances including ACs. If you don't want to use that, you can also use the Peel app. The fingerprint sensor is another great thing on the device because it works very well. You have 360-degree recognition and it is very fast, which you can see there too. Now there are some cool software features here. The phone can recognize in which hand it is being held, so it's very easy to unlock, but most of the time I would say that you would be using the fingerprint sensor. Now whether this is applied to other apps as well, I'll definitely check that out. Overall performance was very smooth on the device. The UI is very smooth, web browsing was very smooth as well, and if you want to look at all the service centers of LeEco, just head over to phonebunch.com. I'll leave a link in description as well. The UI, as I said earlier, is very smooth. I didn't notice any stutter. Good memory management here too, apps remain in memory for some time. It's actually the build quality and the design of the smartphone which really stand out. By looking at it, it doesn't seem like a device which costs about just Rs 11,000. It seems like a very premium device, a flagship of sorts, and it does perform like that. We will be testing out gaming on this smartphone as well as a separate camera review, so stay tuned to PhoneBunch and do hit that subscribe button to get our videos first. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, let us in the comment section, and as always, have a great day.